Hi guys, today I want to talk about something that I think affects every classroom. Whether you're a student, a teacher, or even a parent watching this with your kids. It's about asking questions and why it's one of the most important things you can ever learn to do. I had a student in class the other day who was clearly struggling, not because he wasn't trying, but because he didn't quite understand what it was I was asking him to do. And yet he said nothing. And I get it. Asking for help can feel really difficult. Being wrong seems to come with some kind of stigma of failure rather than being acknowledged for what it is, which is simply part of the learning process. Now in my classroom, I've got a set of personal rules that guide everything I do. And one of those rules is this: if you don't know, then ask, and keep asking. Sounds simple, right? But it takes a lot of courage sometimes. We worry, what if it's a stupid question? But here's the truth, there's no such thing as a stupid question in the classroom. Sure, maybe talking about black holes during a drum lesson is a little bit off topic, but even then, curiosity is never something to be ashamed of. I ended up going over all of this with my student. I told him something that I wish someone had told me earlier. It's the teacher's job to make the information make sense, but it's also the student's job to ask until it does. Teachers are not psychic. We all have responsibilities in the learning process. With this newfound freedom and safety in the knowledge that asking wasn't a bad thing and making a mistake wasn't a bad thing either, my student was able to fully grasp what it was we had been studying, and now feels comfortable asking questions when he gets stuck. It totally turned his lesson and hopefully future lessons around. Now, whether you're a teacher or a student watching this story applies to both of you, and indeed to all of us. Teachers, let's create an environment where questions are welcome, where it's safe to say, I don't get it. That's when real learning happens. Students, you don't need to have all of the answers. In fact, if you did, why would you be here in the first place? But you do need to be brave enough to ask the questions, even if you have to ask them 2, 3, 4, or even 10 times. Now, in a one-to-one setting, this is a lot easier than, say, in a classroom, and I get that. 2 things I would say to hopefully encourage you here. Firstly, if you didn't understand, then I guarantee others in your class didn't either. Can you be brave enough to ask? Now, asking in the classroom may be a little bit scary. So how about speaking to the teacher at the end of the lesson? Perhaps asking if they can spend 5 minutes at break time or at the end of the day going over the material with you again. I would be very surprised if teachers didn't welcome this kind of application from their students. Now, this might be a message you needed to hear today. If so, great. Or perhaps it's something you can pass on to somebody else. Hopefully it was at least useful and/or inspiring. And if this kind of real-world learning stuff resonates with you, please do hit the subscribe button. I've got more of this coming: stories, classroom tips, lessons that go way beyond just the drum set. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.